All right, so we are in the apes. I guess first and foremost, are you an animal person? Let's start with that.
I have cats and chickens. Yeah.
Are they the same kind of feel as walking, talking apes? I guess in your mind, or how's that work?
They're a little smaller, which always is a little more. It helps you relax a little bit.
Now, this role right here, you have the future, you have apes, you have, apocalypse. So, what's your first thought when you come into a movie like this? You're like, I have to figure out where I stand, or I have to figure out where I have to look. I mean, what is the process?
I don't know. To me, Matt Reeves' take on this whole part of the franchise, I love what he did. He has such a vulnerable sensibility, and I think his idea of taking these two groups and everyone is sort of, the humans that are left are so kind of broken and vulnerable, and there's so few left. And then you have the apes who are sort of thriving, and I think it's really just more about these two families trying to keep these two civilizations trying to keep their families alive. And I think that's what Matt did really well. And so more, it was just kind of caring for your surviving family. That's sort of the way I looked at it, and keeping your family alive.
Did you gonna have any action fun in this movie for yourself?
There's a lot of running and being scared of hairy creatures chasing you, heavy breathing in woods and stuff.
Well, with woods and stuff, is there any climbing, jumping? I mean,
all of those
things
sliding,
everywhere?
A little bit of that. Yep.
So you're kind of a badass in this film.
A little bit. A little bit. Yeah.
So were you a fan of the original Apes movies? Did you ever see those when you were younger by chance?
I didn't really watch them. I didn't really. I'm obviously aware of them, but I didn't really. I kind of came into it through Matt, who his stories of getting the makeup kits and talking about sending away for them, and he did all of that. So that's sort of how I came into it.
Well, you knew what the Charleston Heston line. I'm sure everyone knows that same thing. Do you have yourself a line? Do you get a chance to talk to apes or anything, or we have to wait for it?
I talk to a lot of apes in this, but I don't ever say anything like that, and I don't kiss an ape. I come close.
All right. First and foremost, can you tell us? Literally, it's the evolution of Caesar. So, how do you come into the secondary movie where essentially you are in the process of evolution almost?
Absolutely, and that's where Matt Reeves, the director of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, wanted to land. It was very important where we pick up this story, so it's not too far advanced. They've not made too many decisions. They've not become overly articulate linguistically. They can, So Caesar is this statesman-like character in his middle age who is now a father figure. He's a leader, a benevolent leader, but he's also a father. He's got a wife. He's got a teenage son and an infant child. Life is as complex as it is for you or I. And he is, as I say, is responsible for this enormous group of apes that he is trying to teach to respect each other and to work together, and it makes them strong as a unit. And into which the human beings arrive and shatter that potentially. And his job then is to therefore find a way of peacefully coexisting with the humans.
Now, this film for you, what is the body difference? Not only that, but the emotional, because it seems he's going to be angrier throughout most of this movie. This isn't the happy start of the first one. There's a lot more anger and understanding in those eyes and the body, as well as his body stance is more, I gotta say, almost more human-like.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Of course, he's sort of probably the most evolved of the apes in the sense that he inherited that intelligence-enhancing drug from infancy and has grown up with it, was brought up with humans, reflected human behavior, thought he was human for the first few years of his life, until his teenage, where he's then rejected and then has to find his own ape, if you like. So in this movie, you're absolutely right. He's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Actually, is what it is. He's racked with the deep desire to find this peaceful way forward, but he knows his responsibility is to his kind, but also without shunning humanity, which was responsible for bringing him up. So I think you see in his demeanour, in his face, you see that a lot of pain of defending his own family versus being empathetic towards the humans. He's carrying a lot.
Well, the first thing we remember, of course, is how much the world of apes was already part of your soul.
Yeah.
So how does it feel as this, as we're getting closer to the top of the tree,
It's pretty exciting because, like I said, the thing that was so exciting was, as a kid, I just was so obsessed with that world. It's funny because I'm in the middle of still scoring the movie with Michael Giacchino, and he has the same passion. And he literally the other day he goes, "I got you a present," and he got me the treehouse set with all of the toys from when I was a kid, because I told him about how my parents had thrown that set away, and he was like, "Oh, that's too much." So I opened the package and I got emotional because it was such a sweet gesture from him. But that passion is really a passion from childhood, and what's so exciting is that my passion for it now really has to do with the metaphors of the world and how deep the emotion was in Rise, and trying to carry that forward in a way that would increase the reality and increase the emotional reality and also the photo reality. And what's so cool about this stage is the shots are still coming in. We are not done with the movie. But as these shots come in and I see, one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to shoot in the woods. I want to shoot in these conditions that were not really friendly to mocap. And the idea would be that if you shot in real light with rain and in the mud, that would somehow increase the reality, and it did. And not only that, but Weta has improved the technology to a degree between the hair simulations and all of these things in a way that is astonishing. So as these shots come in, I really think that the uncanny illusion of apes that you somehow emotionally connect to that still at the same time seem utterly real is at a whole new level, and that's pretty exciting.